Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we are making some arrowroots and potatoes. I already have my onions and tomatoes going on. I know, onions, right? I've really been put to task. Eli is really making us work in this house. Apparently they are onions, not onions. Anyway, as long as you understand, that's what matters. So in here I have my 2 onions and 3 medium tomatoes, and they are ready. So now I'm going to go in with the arrowroots and the potatoes. I've already added the arrowroots and the potatoes. Is it potatoes, whatever. And given it a good mix, and then I'll be adding some blended garlic. Here's my mixture. I always switch on to either minced garlic or blended garlic. Depends with the kind of taste I want to have in the food. So today I went with a blended garlic. If you have ginger, you can also blend it together. I've run out of ginger, but if you have it in the house, you can always add that. Ginger usually has a very great flavor to food. Yeah, so after adding in that, I'll cover it just for like 2 minutes. Here are the rest of the ingredients that I'll be using today. Here we have some soy sauce, some garam masala, danajira, and some paprika, and then I have some cubes and some spring onions, though these I'll just be using them to garnish. If you have dhania, or rather coriander, you can use that too, you know, just to make the food look more appealing when you're presenting. But it's not a must, it's a step that you can always skip. I feel like we are so used to making arrowroots in just boiling them, having them for breakfast. That's like the most conventional ways. That's how we grew up having them, right? But you can always fry them up. You can also deep fry them. There's so many ways of doing arrowroots, really. And like I keep saying, food is an art. So you don't have to be so strict with how you're making it. You can always change up the spices, adjust to your own liking and how you love it. If there's something I'm using and you don't like it, you can always omit it, and you can always add something else. I'm not adding any pepper because my kids will be consuming the same. So sometimes I usually add a little bit of black pepper. Yeah, so you can adjust everything to your own liking. So my arrowroots have simmered for like 2 minutes or so. And I'll go in with the other spices. And mix it all up. So this is a continuation of the first video, that is the arrowroots and potatoes. So after adding the spices, that is the garam masala, the paprika, and the danajira, and just mixing it all up, This is how it looks. Well coated with all the spices. The garlic already hitting my nostrils very well, right? And this can also be a very great meal for vegetarians, or maybe someone who doesn't really like meat. Or if you're in Kenya, we have an inside joke of January, when we don't do meat really. Yeah, so I'll go in with, I'll add the soy sauce and the cubes, and then some salt. Don't mind the noises. That's Eli. Just had his bath, so oh, the excitement. And today is on Friday, so he doesn't have to, follow any routine really. It's me adding some soy sauce. Then I'll mix everything up. So this is how it looks after stirring in the soy sauce and the cubes. And now I'm ready to add some water and just let it simmer. I've already added the salt too, which I'll adjust after it has already simmered and it's almost ready. So that's when I'll taste the salt. If it's not good enough for me, I'll just add in more. Don't let the simmering thing twist you and changanya you wondering what that is. Just simply uiache for some time, ukoroge, and then simmering just simply means ufunike, then uiache tu itokote for a while. That's all it means. Don't let these words stop you from trying out a recipe. So adding some water. Let the water cover the food, just a little bit of it. The video of the finished product. The arrowroots and the potatoes. The garnish on top is just some spring onions. If you don't have the spring onions, I mentioned that you can use the coriander, that is the dania, or parsley. Just cut them into thin slices and just sprinkle on top. It's not for any purpose really, just to make your food look more presentable. I'm that person. My colorful personality shows even on my food. That's just me. Yes, and there's no meat in here. But if you're that person that really has to have meat, you can always mix it up, or you can have it on the side. This meal is super, super delicious and very easy to make. Takes very minimal time, because the entire time that I took, and it's just because I was filming, I would say 30 minutes. Yeah, 30 minutes. 30 minutes should be done with your cooking and ready to serve. Key thing to note, if you want your arrowroot to have the kind of soup that I have here, the thick soup, the thing to note is when you're adding in the water to let it simmer, make sure that the water is covering everything up in your cooking pot. Because as we all know, with arrowroots, especially when you're frying them up, when you're using this method to prepare them, once they start cooling, the soup thickens. So if you didn't add enough, it will just be so dry for you and your family. So it's always good to add enough water to have exactly like mine. So for any questions, you can ask me any question in the comment section, and I'll be glad to answer. I'll be preparing more recipes. There are always ways of twisting the recipes that you find online. You don't have to follow it to the letter. You can always add more spices, like I keep saying, because cooking is an art, food is an art. So be creative. If you happen to come across a recipe, a recipe that calls for something you've never had, and you're googling it, and maybe it's not in your area, you can always find something else to twist up the recipe and adjust everything up to what is readily available to you. So thank you so much for watching, and hope you enjoy everything that we're doing up here. Thank you so much. Bye.